Yeah, all right. Now, guys, I left you alone to try to figure these out. And I said just try. I'm a betting man, and I bet that if I walked around, I would see some of you had indeed tried. But I would see a lot of you that had left it blank. And that's okay. Because the bell rang, I kind of forgot it was a short day. I didn't get as far as I wanted to go. So I asked you to try it. Some of you tried it, some of you didn't. Whatever, no big deal. We're going to go over it now. If you tried it, what are you checking to see? If you did it right. If you didn't try it, what are you doing right now? Writing this down as notes. Yes? Okay. So, let's go ahead and work here. So I need to find the missing length or the missing angle. What finds lengths? Tan or shift tan? Tan. What finds angles? Shift tan. Right? I'm going to write tan -1. Whenever I write tan -1, that's shift tan. Cool? Now, if you weren't here Tuesday, you missed my big speech about making sure you get the right kind of calculator. Please ensure you have the right kind of calculator. If you don't have your calculator in front of you right now, that's a big mistake. Get your calculator out. So, in this first question, what do I have? I have an angle that I don't know, yes? All right. Now, in math class, for some reason, whenever we need to talk about an angle, we give it a Greek letter. Don't ask me why. Well, we all know why. The Greeks did a ton of stuff with math, right? Pythagoras, he was Greek. So we always use a Greek letter. That Greek letter looks like this. It's a circle with a line through it. And it is called theta. It's also the letter T in Greek. So in case any of you care, my name in Greek, just for fun, is M-A theta I-O. And I can't remember what S is. Because my name is Matthias in Greek. Well, the theta makes the sound. They have one letter for it. Anyway, another story for another day. So, the theta is unknown, yes? So my theta is x. What do I know, though? What do we call the measurement that is across from where we are? Opposite. I know my opposite is what? 23. And what do I call the angle that's right beside? Or the side that's right beside? My adjacent is 15. Now, do I have everything I need to do a tan? Yes, because I have an opposite and adjacent, don't I? But since I want an angle, I'm doing shift tan, aren't I? So when I show the work, I'm going to write shift tan equals opposite 23 over adjacent. Now, remember how just 2 seconds before I told you to write down how your machine works? Great. So now, even if you didn't attempt it, you can now do this on your machine. So, of course, you will do however your machine works. Mine is second tan. It gives me the first bracket. Then I enter 23 divided by 15, close brackets, equals. That's what I do. You, of course, do what your machine needs you to do. And you get an answer of what? 56.8. That sounds good to me. $56.8, right? That's what everybody has? Good, because that's what I have. So now would we ever leave that as decimals? No, we would round that to 57 degrees. Can everybody do that? Everybody? Okay. So let's look at our next one. Do I have a theta? What is it? 15 degrees. It tells me right there. It's 15. What is opposite of 15? An x. What is adjacent to 15? 37. Now what do I know? I know that tan of theta, which is 15, equals opposite, which is x, over adjacent, which is 37. Now we've practiced a lot of algebra. Where's the variable? On the top. So I need to get rid of divided by 37, don't I? So what do? Multiply by 37. If I multiply the right side by 37 to get rid of 37, what do I do to the left side? Multiply by 37. So, who does this? You or your calculator? Your calculator, because you don't know what the tan of 15 is, do you? I don't know. It's some weird decimal. But my calculator knows. So what do I punch on my calculator? On my calculator, I push 37 times tan 15 equals. On your calculator, you would probably push the same thing, unless you have a backwards calculator, in which case you reverse everything. So you start with 15, then you push tan, then you push times, then you push 37. See how it's reverse of the order I do it? Which is why I call your calculator a backwards calculator, if you have it. So now everybody should be able to tell me the answer there. What is it? 9.91. Was everyone able to do it? Everyone? Sweet. Now go to this last one and try it all by yourself. If you haven't done it already. If you've done it already, sit there like this. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. And see if you're going to get it right, because I'm going to write it all out right now. In my favorite color, which is?
Pink. Purple.
Purple. Remember, if you write it out, you can't do it wrong. Everybody ready? I'll wait a moment. Emma's not quite ready. Not to single you out, Emma. You're just the only person that gave me an answer. I had two yeses and one no. Would anybody like to volunteer their answer? And it can't be Carlin. Would anyone like to volunteer their answer? Anyone? 29 other voices. 29 other answers written down. I lie. Rihanna's not here. 28 other answers. Emma. Just say what the answer is, sister. You just say what you wrote down. 38.5. Sorry. But if you wrote it down, now you'll be able to fix the problem, won't you? Aaron. 5.1. 09 is 5.1, yes. Now, Emma, my guess is you did 14 times tan 70. Right? Because of why? algebra skills need work, don't they? I remind you all again, if I had 10's a bad one. If I had 7 equaled 21 over x, how would you solve it? Because you all know the answer is 3, but how would you solve that? Is the x in the right spot? Is it? It's in the denominator. I don't want x in the denominator. So what do I do to get rid of x? Multiply by x gets rid of it on this side. What do I have to do over here? Multiply by x. So I get 7x equals 21. Then I divide by 7, yes? So x equals 21 divided by 7. What's the shortcut I just gave you? If at the end I'm going to do 21 divided by 7, and I am faced with that, and I know at the end I'm going to do 21 divided by 7, then all I could do is do 21 divided by what's there. Or you could also think of it this way. 7 is really 7 over 1 and 21 over x. How do you solve fractions? Right. 21 times 1, 7 times x. So 7x has to equal 21. Divide by 7, x equals 3. Okay? Now, Emma, let's say you wrote all this out right and told me the answer was 38. What do you think I give you on a quiz out of 2? 1. Do I give you a 0? No, I'm not a dink. What do I give you on a test at the end of the unit? Do you think? Would I make this out of 2 at the end of a unit when it's only one step? No, so what would you get? It would be out of 1, right? And you got the answer wrong, so what would I have to give you? Right. Does everybody understand that? There's only one concept here. So when we're practicing, I'll give you marks for sneezing on the page if I have to. Right? But at test time, it's test time, right? Okay. All right, so everybody's good? Okay, let's look at this one and see what happened. Do I have a theta? What is it? 30. Excellent. What else do I have? If 30 is my theta, this is where I am looking at the triangle from. So that's where I decide opposites and adjacents, yes? So what is opposite to me right now? X. What is adjacent to me right now? 24. And also I need the y, don't I? The y is the hypotenuse, right? Well, what math tool do I have that works right now? Can I do Pythagoras yet? Why not? Because I got 2 variables. Okay, damn. Can I do tangent right now? Yes, because tan 30 equals what? X over 24. The number's on the bottom, so how do I get rid of it? Multiply by 24. Now, guys, when you're doing this on your own, do you really think I need to see this step? Do I need to see it from you? If you write 24 tan 30, does that show me you know you were multiplying? Okay. And that gives me my answer of x. How do I punch that into my machine? I don't know. It's your machine, so punch it in. And what do you get? Stop for a second. I'm actually going to use an example here. What do I get when I do tan of, 30 times 24? I get 13.85, yes? Do I need to do more work with this question? So do you think I'm going to need 13.85 blah, blah, blah again? I'm going to do more work with the question, Wyatt, so don't you think I still need that? Okay. So should I erase it from my calculator? No. I'm going to leave it on my calculator, but what am I going to do on my paper, just to remind me? I'm going to write 13.86 equals x. Right? Now I'm going to do my work. Do I know what this side is? It's 13.86, isn't it? Now what do I have? Do I have one leg? Yeah? Do I have a second leg? Can I do Pythagoras? Yes, I can. 24 squared plus 13.86 squared. And what do I do to that whole answer? Square root the whole shebang. What is that going to equal? Oh, it's going to equal y, right? Soon as my computer writes the radical sign that I wrote like 10 seconds ago. There it is. Equals y. So now I can find out what y is. Now, fortunately for me, I've left that on my calculator, haven't I? So all I need to do is go square, there it is, plus 24 squared, there it is. And then what do I do to that answer? I square root my answer. I can see it right there at 768, or I can use the answer key. And I get 27.71. Does everybody see how to do tangent? It's pretty easy, right? Especially if you write it down. If you write it down and you remember that tan equals opposite over adjacent. The hardest thing is knowing what's opposite and what's adjacent, right? Because what does it depend on? Where you are in the triangle, right? Right now, who is opposite to me? Jash and D, right? If I go to another spot on the triangle, someone else is opposite me. Yes? So it makes sense. Everybody cool? Okay. I'm going to shut up in a moment because I can't shut up because my computer froze. So I got to take some time and fill up the spaces and ask you to do number 6. Go. You know, you guys, these are never quizzes, right? You can talk to the person beside you while you're figuring it out. It's never not allowed. Do you understand what I'm saying? And by the same token, if you don't know how to do it and the person beside you is just, you can say, psst, hey, psst, 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 hey, psst. Okay. Who would like to volunteer an answer to the first one? Carlin? Yep. It is absolutely 35 degrees. Who would like to offer me one of the answers to the second one, either Y or X? Somebody who's not Carlin. Okay, Emma. Just do it, sister. This is practice. Yes, it was 12.12. Of course, we'd say 12.12, but that's okay. What's Y? Finish it off, Emma. 14. Look at you. It's like somebody taught you how to do trig. It might have been me. I don't know who it was. Okay. Does anybody need to talk about either of those? If you didn't say it out loud, you are checking right now. Were you able to do it? If you weren't able to do it, do you see where your error was? If you don't, listen closely. Step 1, write it out. Theta opposite adjacent, okay? Step 2, decide. Do I need an angle or a side? In this case, I needed an angle, so it's shift tan, right? Step 1, write it out. Step 2, tan for a side or shift tan for an angle. Well, this was an angle, so it was shift tan opposite over adjacent. Yeah? Excellent. Now go to this side. Write it out. Got it. Okay, I need X. It's a side, so it's regular tan. Numbers on the bottom. 7 times tan 60 gets me X. There it is. Right? Once I have X, I go over here and I Pythagoras the poo out of it, and I get 14. Gouda? Great. And there is the last one. What was different? The variable was on the bottom. So I say to myself, self, I either have to cross multiply 10 times 1 divided by tan 80, or I just remember variable on the bottom means divide. Good? Good. Your job, actually, just let me make sure of something. Yes. We have to discuss this situation on your next page, angles in the real world. Because these questions we've been practicing are not the real world, are they? They're triangles written on a piece of paper. But remember when we did that first chart and we drew it and we saw that no matter how big the triangle got, the rule stayed the same? Okay, in the real world, that is still true. But in the real world, we have 3 dimensions, don't we? Not everything's on a piece of paper, right? Could I draw a triangle that goes up in the air? I could, couldn't I? On a piece of paper, though, that's hard to draw, yes? So the first kind of angle we are going to speak of is this. It is the angle of inclination, which is also an angle of elevation. I think I'm going to spell elevation wrong when that shows up. I think I missed a letter. I didn't. I spelt it right. Elevation. What does it mean to elevate? Somebody direct me to elevate. Connor? Oh, Connor is doing the thing where he puts his hand up slowly while points. He is answering the question while volunteering to answer the question. To elevate my bottom, I must rise my bottom from the seat. Yes? Excellent. Now, in a triangle, how do you decide what's opposite and what's adjacent? You decide because it's based on where you're looking. Yes? Excellent. So if we were to draw a picture of a person, there I am, and I was going to make an angle, how many places must my eyes look to make an angle? How many lines do I need to make an angle? 2. 1 is going to go straight across, right? Looking at a pretty girl. She's wearing a bikini on the top. She's a mermaid. She's got an algae bra. She's Ariel after she comes to land and can't speak. That's why I didn't give her a word balloon. Everybody cool? Now, if I were going to create an angle of elevation, where would my eyes have to go? What does elevate mean? Up. So my eyes would look up to a bird flying in the sky. Now my eyes have looked up, yes? Where is the angle of elevation? Where I made the angle. There is theta. Does everyone understand? Yeah, I would. Angle of elevation means the angle between the horizontal Now, if you don't know what the word horizontal means, that's the flat one. The angle between the horizontal and where my eyes end up. Please highlight. Please put a Mrs. Bad Crumble cloud around it. Please put some stars. So you know that angle of elevation means up. You think I am making this sound like it's a big deal. It is. This question, for some reason, confuses 15-year-old brains. You all know what an angle is. You all know that elevation means up. You all know that you need to look in two places to make an angle. But for some strange reason, once I say put that all together, what? Does everybody get it? All right. Awesome. Now, you guys are not stupid. If there is an angle of inclination and an angle of elevation, what must there also be? And those are looking up. What must there also be? The same thing looking down. There is the angle of declination, incline, decline, and we also call it the angle of depression. So, how do you think we find it? Well, does math sometimes follow a pattern? Once in a while. And there's an I. There I am. But now I'm on top of a building. I wouldn't jump. I'm very happy. Over here is the pretty girl. Well, that's the clue, Emma, that you've just given away my punchline. Thanks. I look, where do my eyes start? Always horizontal. Hey, pretty girl. Right? But then I hear a car crash on the street. The car has driven into the bottom of the building. What do we all do when we go by a car crash? Slow down and stare at it, because those people aren't embarrassed enough, causing more accidents behind me. Because, of course, there is no need to slow down in an accident if it is off the road. Is there? All of you who are about to get your licenses. You look down. I'm going to finish this. Your job tonight, watch that and do the next page in your book over the weekend. There is your theta between eyes up and where I go down.